Now a message from the Board of Governors on behalf of over community members. We demand the reversal of the appointment of Margaret Spellings, followed by a democratic and transparent hiring process for a new president that can lead the University of North Carolina system and preserve its integrity intact. And we would like you to accept this petition and take that into consideration in your deliberations.
Down in front. Down in front.
To join the conference as the host, press star. Otherwise,
He's calling in. Oh, he's calling.
For those of you calling in, you're still beeping in, as you know, so we'll give it a minute till we quit hearing beeps, and then Dr. Perry will call the roll.
I believe it's 10:01.
Thank you. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for your presence today and this year as we seek to enhance the lives of our students and the quality of education in our state. In your loving name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Zach. Secretary Perry, would you please call the roll?
Good. Mr. Aiken.
Here.
Mrs. Burris-Floyd.
here.
Mr. Byers. Mrs. Gage.
Here.
Mr. Goolsby. Mr. Goolsby. Mr. Granger. Mr. Hinton.
Here.
Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes.
Here. I'm here.
Thank you. Mr. Knott. Mr. Cotis.
Here.
Mr. Lampy.
Here.
Mr. Long.
Here. I'd like to now recognize Interim President Gonzalez for his report. And I think that should have been before the election, so I apologize, Junior.
Apology accepted. Thank you very much for the opportunity for my big speaking role today. Good morning. I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to serve as interim president of the UNC system. It certainly is a privilege and a great responsibility. I'm pleased to report that the transition is occurring at a fast pace, and we continue to coordinate and move closely with the board's Presidential Transition Committee and President-elect Spellings. I'm certainly looking forward to March 1st to relinquishing the reins. I join Chairman Bissett in thanking you for rearranging your schedules on short notice to accommodate today's special meeting. In hindsight, it's very clear that we made the right call in postponing Friday's meeting due to impending bad weather. I also want to thank once again Chancellor Harold Martin and his staff along with the NCA&T Board of Trustees, for hosting us in Greensboro last week in recognition of A&T's 125th anniversary. We certainly could not have asked for a warmer welcome or greater hospitality. For many of us, getting to tour the A&T campus on Thursday afternoon and meeting some of the individuals involved in the various academic, research, and outreach initiatives was really eye-opening. And it really underscored just what NCA&T has become in the economy and civic life of the Triad.
Someone please mute their line, please. We're getting a lot of feedback. Thank you.
After all, A&T has grown and evolved to become the largest historically black college and university in the country. It's a pleasure this morning to also welcome by phone Thomas Conway to his first Board of Governors meeting since being named Interim Chancellor of Elizabeth City State University. He has hit the ground running, and the university is obviously in very capable hands. I do want to take a few moments to offer a brief snapshot of our university's achievements and highlights. I want to underscore that great things are happening every day on each and every one of the 17 campuses, and there's no way to do them justice in the short time we have available. So this is a small sample. Regarding national rankings, earlier this month, U.S. News & World Report released its 2016 rankings of the nation's best online degree programs. The rankings cover online bachelor's degrees as well as online master's degrees in engineering, business, education, nursing, computer information technology, and criminal justice. I'm pleased to report that 11 UNC campuses were ranked in the top 100 across every category, and 6 were represented in the top 25. Institutions in the top 25 in selected fields included East Carolina University, NC Central, NC State, UNC Chapel Hill, UNC Charlotte, and UNC Greensboro. Kudos are also in order for App State, Fayetteville State, A&T, UNC Pembroke, and Western Carolina, which also had one or more graduate programs in the top 100. Last month, Kiplinger's Personal Finance magazine released its annual list of the nation's 100 public colleges and universities that provide the best value for students, and for the 15th time in a row, UNC Chapel Hill topped the rankings. 5 other UNC campuses were among the schools that Kiplinger's conclude deliver an exceptional combination of academic quality and affordability. They include NC State, ranked 11th, Appalachian State at 28, UNC Wilmington at 41, UNC Asheville at 48, and Western Carolina University at 73. At East Carolina University, researchers are part of a multi-institutional team receiving a $9.5 million grant to tackle health disparities related to uncontrolled blood pressure in the rural South. Investigators at the Brody School of Medicine will spend the next 5 years partnering with colleagues at Chapel Hill and the University of Alabama at Birmingham to explore strategies to reduce hypertension among low-income African Americans in the rural southeastern United States. At NC State University, Trudy McKay, who is the William Neal Reynolds and University Distinguished Professor in the Department of Biological Sciences, has been awarded the prestigious Wolf Prize for Agriculture. Wolf Awards come with a $100,000 cash prize and often serve as a harbinger for Nobel Prizes. A member of the National Academy of Sciences, Dr. McKay has made groundbreaking contributions to our scientific understanding of how genetic and environmental factors affect variations in quantitative or complex traits in plants, animals, and humans. The Board of Governors also honored her work with the O. Max Gardner Award back in 2007. At UNC Asheville, for the 9th consecutive year, the university's singers headed to Washington, D.C. last month to perform for the White House, entertaining visitors at the holiday open house. The group also entertained soldiers in the Wounded Warriors program at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. At UNC Chapel Hill, later this spring at the White House, Joseph DeSimone will receive the National Medal of Science and National Medal of Technology and Innovation. our nation's highest honors for achievement and leadership in advancing the fields of science and technology. He is the Chancellor's Eminent Professor of Chemistry at UNC Chapel Hill and the William Keenan Professor of Chemical Engineering at NC State University. He is only one of 17 scientists, engineers, mathematicians, and innovators being recognized for making long-lasting contributions to America's competitiveness and quality of life and helping strengthen the nation's technological workforce. At UNC School of the Arts, 3 graduates of the School of Drama are in Oscar-nominated films. Alumni Will Rogers and Billy Magnuson are in Bridge of Spies, which was nominated for 6 awards, including Best Picture. Magnuson also appears in The Big Short, which was nominated for 5 awards, including Best Picture. Jake Lacy is featured opposite Best Actress nominee Cate Blanchett in Carol, which received a total of 6 nominations. On a related note, students and alumni of UNC School of the Arts Schools of Filmmaking, Drama, and Design and Production worked on or appear in 8 films screening at the Sundance Film Festival. At Western Carolina, the university has been recognized among 14 higher education institutions in the United States, selected to participate in a National Center for Engineering Pathways to Innovation program that is designed to help schools fully incorporate innovation and entrepreneurship into undergraduate engineering education. This initiative is funded by the National Science Foundation. I did want to mention one additional item and will forego details regarding the enrollment report, which is in your materials. But one of the informational items on last week's Educational Planning Committee was the update on fall university enrollment. That report revealed that UNC's total fall 2015 headcount enrollment was 200,024,915 students, an increase of 1.3% over the previous year and an all-time high for the UNC system. It also showed that the average undergraduate student age is 22 years old, and average graduate student is 30.5 years old, and now 1 in 5 students are enrolled part-time, and approximately 1 in 4 students enrolled at UNC came as transfer students. In closing, I want to thank you for your ongoing efforts to build support for the $2 billion Connect NC bond package that will appear on the March 15th primary ballot. Counties and communities all across North Carolina will benefit from the new statewide investments in higher education, agriculture, water and sewer infrastructure, parks, and security that would be financed with these bonds. And importantly, no tax increases will be needed to finance the bonds. As you know, the bond package includes over $1 billion of targeted capital investments across the UNC system, with a heavy focus on facilities for STEM fields and health professions, which are key drivers of the state's economy. Every UNC campus will benefit, and these investments will help ensure that North Carolina has the capacity to produce the talent needed to be competitive in the global economy. Mr. Chairman, this concludes my report.
Thank you very much, President Gonzalez. That was an excellent report, and
Yeah, y'all see that? See what you participate in? See what you're allowing happen to students? That's some scary shit! You're letting a student be dragged out like that? You all agree to this. You can say, let them go! What the fuck is wrong with you? Let them go! You saw that? I think it's time for you to start doing shit. Loaded! 1, 2, 3! Fuck the BOG! 4, 5, 6! Fuck the BOG! 1, 2, 3! Fuck the BOG! 4, 5, 6! Fuck the BOG!
we'll proceed with the chairman's report and hope that anyone who has not voted will get their vote in the next few minutes. At this time, I would like to recognize Craig Sousa for a report from the Transition Committee. Craig.
Good morning, everyone.
I too think that's going to be a very important time for all of us because really in my mind what it's going to do, it's going to give us a roadmap for how we're going to work together with President Spellings when she begins her term in March. I think, you know, she has her expectations of us, and I know we're going to have some expectations of her, and I think this is going to be really a great time to try to develop that roadmap because I can tell you Margaret Spellings is going to be ready to go on March the 1st. So I'm looking forward to the retreat. I know Laura and Temple have done a lot of work on the local logistics, and I think we'll all appreciate that when we get there. So it should be a fun meeting and a stimulating meeting, and I think an important meeting for what we're going to be able to accomplish in the next few years.
Lou, I just want to add one thing. The retreat is, we're not going to be taking up substantive issues. I mean, this is going to be a retreat for us and her. And so I wouldn't want people to come and expect that we're going to be, debating, issues that we typically would at a board meeting, for example. Thank you.
I think that's a good point. However, we will be together for a couple of days, so it should give us all an opportunity to have some really meaningful dialogue with our fellow board members. We sometimes don't have enough time to do that, and I think we will have some opportunities at this meeting. So thanks, Craig. I know we're all looking forward to it. I'm sorry that Champ and Frank and Bob and Terrence can't be there, but I know they would be if it was at all possible. So we'll try to report back to you at the end of the retreat as best we can. Just a couple of other short things. I want to thank Marty Cotis again for his hospitality in Greensboro. It was a great night at the Pig Pounder, and I particularly enjoyed my time there with the members of the Greensboro City Council and with the Guilford County Commissioners. I just thought it was a perfect way to establish some relationships there for our members on the Board of Governors. I also would like to thank Chancellor Martin again and his staff at North Carolina A&T State University for their hospitality. I just wish, and I know everyone on this board wishes that we could have been there through Friday, but the time there was well spent, and I appreciate everything they did to host our visit. I have one final announcement, and that is that the next meeting of the board is scheduled for Friday, March the 4th. We will be on the campus of Fayetteville State University, and Harry and our other members from the east tell me that it never snows in Fayetteville during March, so we should have a good time in Fayetteville in early March, and of course Margaret will be there for her first meeting as well. You guarantee that, Harry?
Yes, sir. Bring your suntan lotion.
I thought you did. Good.
Well, Mr. Chairman, not to cause you any angst or wish that you were further east, but as soon as we can get off this phone, I'm headed to the golf course because down here the sun is shining and there's no snow.
Don't even say that.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
if I may, this is Rodney Hood. I just wanted to, while we had everyone in public session, I'd like to notice one of our Board of Governors members last night received a wonderful award. I'd like to note that Mr. Marty Cotis was just elected last evening as the Restaurateur of the Year by the North Carolina Restaurant Association. So we're very pleased.
job, Marty.
Well, after being at a couple of his restaurants, I can certainly understand why he got that award. Congratulations, Marty.
Oh, you just like super chilled scotch.
I do like super chilled scotch, and I'm a big fan of the pig pounder as well. So we go from there. Before we move into closed session, I'm going to ask Ann Lemon to report on the outcome of the election. Are you ready, Ann?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Roger Aiken has been elected vice chair of the board.
Thank you. Congratulations, Roger. And
Board of Governors, the election of Dr. Thomas Conway Jr. as Chancellor of Elizabeth City State University. Dr. Conway has served as Elizabeth City's interim chancellor since Stacey Franklin Jones stepped down from the post on December 31st, and the Elizabeth City Board of Trustees has now requested that we forego another extended search and drop the interim from his title. As Dr. Conway has acknowledged publicly, he was among the finalists advanced in the previous chancellor search, so his background and credentials have been extensively vetted previously by the Elizabeth City Board of Trustees. I think you all have a letter from Dr. Paul Norman, the chair of the Board of Trustees, supporting this. This is a critical time in Elizabeth City's history, and we all remain fully committed to ensuring that it becomes a successful and sustainable institution serving all of northeastern North Carolina. That shared resolve will require strong, stable, innovative leadership in the years ahead, and someone who understands the many deep-rooted problems and challenges facing Elizabeth City State University, but who sees those challenges as real opportunities. It will require a leader with extensive experience, one who knows how to manage and lead complex organizations, and who can envision, tap into, and help develop the university's fullest potential. That demands someone who valued the traditions of our nation's historically black colleges and universities, and who understands the effects of a changing higher education landscape on them. But it also requires an individual with enormous people skills, proven fundraising skills, and someone who will be accessible to students, faculty, staff, alumni, parents, and the Board of Trustees. It is vital that the next chancellor understand the critical role that the university plays in the life and economy of the region, and be an active, collaborative partner with the city, surrounding counties, and other institutions. And of course, we must have a leader with a deep commitment to public higher education and absolute integrity, someone who will be a good partner for President Spellings, this board, and our other chancellors. I believe we have found that special combination of talent, experience, and commitment in Dr. Thomas Conway. Thomas Conway is a proud product of the University of North Carolina system, and he has devoted his life's work to it. Over the past 4 decades, he has distinguished himself as senior administrator on 2 other UNC campuses, and he brings to Elizabeth City State University a deep understanding of the mission, purpose, and promise of UNC's historically minority institutions. I am convinced that he is the right individual to lead the university for the long haul, and that belief has been enthusiastically affirmed by the university's Board of Trustees. Dr. Conway's knowledge of the region, his extensive administrative expertise, and his sound judgment will be critical assets as we work together to ensure the university's long-term success. We are most fortunate to retain a proven leader of such talent, integrity, and commitment. So I am delighted he has agreed to join our leadership team on a permanent basis. Since 2008, Dr. Conway has served as Vice Chancellor and Chief of Staff at Fayetteville State University, where he has had primary responsibility for advancing university priorities and coordinating and implementing the strategic planning process. Prior to joining Fayetteville State's senior leadership team, Dr. Conway spent 32 years at NC State University, where he served in a succession of academic and administrative roles, As Dean of Undergraduate Academic Programs, he worked with faculty and administrators across all colleges and departments to enhance the quality of the academic experience for NC State's undergraduate students. Dr. Conway also served as Vice Provost for Enrollment Management Services, Associate Vice Provost for the Division of Undergraduate Affairs, and Director of the First Year College. He earlier served as a counselor in NC State's University Counseling Center, TRIO Program Director, Director of the Academic Support Program for Student Athletes, Director of Recruiting and Minority Services for the College of Engineering. He also was a visiting lecturer in the NC State College of Education's Department of Counselor Education. Dr. Conway earned an undergraduate degree in agricultural education and a master's degree in guidance and counseling from NC State University and received his PhD in counselor education from NC State. Active in a number of professional organizations, Dr. Conway has served as a consultant for numerous historically minority institutions. He has written and spoken widely about academic assessment, mentoring, and leadership. At the UNC system level, he has served on the UNC Military Affairs Council and the UNC Task Force on Athletics and Academics. Dr. Conway is a native of Lewisburg, North Carolina, in Franklin County. He and his wife, Michelle, have 2 adult children, Simon, a middle school teacher in the Washington, D.C. public schools, and Zena, who works for a conference management company in Charlotte. Mr. Chairman, it is my great privilege to recommend to the Board of Governors the election of Dr. Thomas Conway, Jr. as Chancellor of Elizabeth City State University, effective immediately.
Thank you, President Gonzalez. You've heard Dr. Gonzalez's recommendation. Is there any discussion?
Yes, the only thing I'd say is, this is certainly not something I know you want to do in public, but I hope you will express to him the appreciation of the board that he is willing to come in and take on such a difficult assignment as the one.
Very good, Dr. Conway. Any other discussion before we vote? If not, all in favor of the motion to elect Dr. Conway as the Chancellor of Elizabeth City State University, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear no one opposed, so it's a unanimous vote.